What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Deconstructing Narcissism. Sorry, it's a little bumpy again. I'm on the road here. The road's really bad. I just wanted to make a video on narcissistic baby boomer parents. And one of the things that narcissistic baby boomer parents are really good at is sugarcoating their abuse towards you as quote-unquote helping. Okay? Narcissistic baby boomer parents who when I say sugarcoat their abuse, especially when it comes to infantilization, narcissistic baby boomer parents, they like to do a lot of things and they mask it as quote-unquote helping, trying to help you, but really it's a lie. Really what they're trying to do is they're trying to find any justification that they can find for that particular moment, or for that particular reason, or for that particular moment, as to why they feel the need to abuse you and why it isn't abuse in their mind. Literally, they do that. Narcissistic baby boomer parents, especially growing up with my mother, she would literally justify it in her head. Before, like, she would justify reasons. If I told her I didn't like something, like, for example, one of the things she always used to do is she always used to, as soon as I needed to be somewhere, like the gym, or like I was going to be late for work, she would either bring up an argument, or she would keep talking to me, and I would be late to work because of this. And their justification for doing shit like this is, oh, I was just trying to help, sweetie. I was just trying to help you. They're not trying to help you. Okay. Another thing my mom would used to do is she would say she loves me, but she would call me autistic and say I need help, and that I would never be able to make it in the real world, and how much I need government assistance, and how much I can't, how I'll never be able to get a real job and make it on my own. So there was a point where my mom literally tried to commit fraud in court. She tried to. I was so manipulated by her bullshit. I went with her to court. What she wanted to do was she wanted to go in front of a judge and convince this judge that I was too mentally incompetent to live on my own, or pay bills, or have a job that pays enough to pay bills, or just live on my own in general. She wanted to convince this judge, and she wanted me to put on a part that I was dumber than I am, in order for me to get disability checks, which she would then use for herself and cash for herself in her own bank account. That's the kind of shit that narcissistic baby boomer parents do. What's another thing she would do? She did so many things. By the way, so many things. Another thing she would do, if I wasn't up in the morning, that wasn't acceptable to her. This was more of a justification of why she used to wake me up whenever she woke up, and how everybody else in the house needed to be awake with her because she was awake, and it just wasn't good enough that everyone else was asleep. What another bullshit thing my narcissistic mother would do was at like 8, sometimes even earlier, 9 in the morning, the latest I remember being like 9, is what she would go upstairs, okay, to my room, and she would turn on a vacuum and just start banging it into my door when I was asleep. And my God, that woke me up. I mean, imagine being woken up by a vacuum, you know, in the middle, in fucking, in the morning. Imagine being woken up to pounding, a vacuum pounding against your fucking bedroom door is what I had to deal with. Okay. So that was another thing she did. Another thing that my dad also partaked in, as well as my mom, they tag team me a lot, is when they knew I had to work or go to sleep, and I had something important in the morning, they would be as loud as they can in the morning. banging pots and pans, literally everything in the kitchen in order to be as loud as possible and prevent me from getting sleep during that night. So when I woke up in the morning, I would be too tired. I wouldn't have the energy to work. So that's another thing that narcissistic baby boomer parents do. In short, I mean, I just wanted to say in this video, it's just going to be a shorter video. They will do whatever they have to do to justify their reason in their head for abusing you. Okay. If you told them to stop, if you have narcissistic baby boomer parents and you told them multiple times about things you don't like, you know, they know what you don't like and what you do like. Okay, let's just be honest. They are not stupid. Okay, if you have parents who are doing these kinds of things, all right, or they're just making random arguments out of nothing, okay, there's a chance you have narcissistic parents. And no, they're not stupid. I literally thought my parents for the longest time were just dumb. I mean, not as in book smart, they're book smart, okay? They've been to college, everything like that. But I just thought they were inept and incompetent in general at parenting, and they didn't know how to parent in general. No, they were sabotaging me on purpose the entire time, okay? All the little things that they were doing, like, everything was, now that I look back on it, everything was so meticulously and maliciously planned out to the T. I'm going to give you one more story before I end this video. There's one story where I knew, I go back to all the time, where I knew my mom was trying to trap me with them in that house to make sure I couldn't leave. It was the day I got my Chevy Cruze 2016, which I still drive today. She had made me assume, because I wanted to just put my name on the lease, on the title, and have it be mine. But no, she wanted to co-sign with me on the lease of the car, and I didn't want that. But the reason, and she picked out the car, of course, because they were gonna, you know, you never get an option with a narcissistic baby boomer parent. If they do something for you, it's always got to be on their terms, on their time, and they ultimately get to choose your gift or favor that they're doing for you. And you better appreciate it, and you better love it, because if you don't, they're gonna endlessly complain about it, and you're never gonna hear the fucking end of it. So, anyway, going back to my story, there was one time, like I said, she wanted to co-sign. I was getting my Chevy Cruze 2016 in October. There was one time, that was the time where I wanted to put my name on the lease and just have it be mine. But she had this idea where I didn't know my credit score, because I didn't know anything about credit, because my parents didn't teach me anything, but that's another story. I wanted to have the car be mine, but she would not let me get the car unless she co-signed on it, okay? Turns out it wasn't about credit at all. It was just about control, because as I found out later on, that when she co-signed the car, I couldn't just willingly take off with the car and live my own life and get my own apartment. No, because since she was on the lease, it was both of our responsibilities. So she trapped me into paying this car loan every month with not only her on it, but me on it as well. So I literally had to manipulate her. I don't know how I did it. Anyway, long story short, I got the car away from her, and I haven't seen them since in years. So, you know, in short, guys, beware of your baby boomer narcissistic parents. They're not here to help you. They're only here to hinder you. Anyway, I gotta go. Cut this video short. My girlfriend keeps calling me. Until next time, guys, this is Deconstructing Narcissism. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.